Naam, hujambo mpenzi mtazamaji, siku nyingine, siku murwa kabisa ya kukufahamisha taarifa kutoka sehemu mbalimbali katika awamu hii ya matukio mtambuko kutoka hivi sasa hadi mwendo wa saa 8, tukikupa taarifa, mahojiano na vilevile udadavuzi wa masuala ambayo yanakuhusu kwa njia moja au nyingine. Wanakwetu wananiita Joashon Sare. Moja kwa moja tuangazie zile taarifa ambazo tunazipa kipaumbele siku ya leo. Na mtazamaji, taarifa hizo ni kwamba siku ya leo wabunge kusikiliza maombi ya kutimuliwa kwa makamishna wanne wa IEBC, mazungumzo ambayo tutakuwa nayo baadaye, na vilevile Rais William Ruto anatarajiwa kukamilisha ziara yake ya siku tatu Korea Kusini, na vilevile wabunge wanatarajiwa kuzuru makao makuu ya NHIF kutathmini hali na kuhakikisha afya bora inapatikana kwa Wakenya wote. Mtazamaji, ni baadhi ya taarifa ambazo tunazidi kuziangazia hivi sasa. Wacha nikupe methali ya leo.
Methali ya leo: la moyoni si la machoni.
Maana yake, alilonalo mtu moyoni si lazima kulionyesha wazi kwa nje.
Hutukumbusha kuwa tunachokiona kwa nje sicho wanachokithamiria watu.
Na mtazamaji, sasa karibu ni kufahamisha taarifa hizo, na moja kwa moja ni kwamba Rais William Ruto hapo jana jioni alihudhuria ibada katika kanisa la Myungsung Presbyterian nchini Korea Kusini akiwa ameandamana na mkewe Rachel Ruto. Akiwahutubia waumini hao, Rais Ruto aliomba kanisa hilo kuendelea kuombea amani na utulivu duniani. Kwa upande wake, mama wa taifa Bi Rachel Ruto ameutaka uongozi wa kanisa kutochoka kutoa msaada kwa jamii kama vile elimu na matibabu.
Praise Jesus.
우리 예수님을 찬양합니다.
God is good.
하나님은 선하십니다.
I am truly grateful to God that I have had an opportunity to visit the largest church I have ever seen in my life. Truly bless God that in this part of the world we have people, men and women, who believe in God the way we do. I am reminded of the words of Matthew 6:33 that say, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all things shall be added unto you." And that reminds me that even as God has given me the opportunity to be the President of Kenya, God is going to come first. As you pray,
they came, they built churches, and besides a church, they built a school, and besides a school, they built a hospital. Thank you for the work that you are doing all over the world, and we trust God because of this relationship that we start today. We'll continue to work together to see that the gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ is taken to all the parts of the world. And we have a lot to learn. I have never seen a choir that is this big. I'm sure when you come to Kenya, we will also have these big choirs. So thank you so much for having us. Thank you for waiting for us. We love you. God bless you.
Mtazamaji, tukiangazia mengine, kamati ya bunge kuhusu sheria imeanza kusikiliza ombi la kutaka kutimuliwa kwa makamishna wanne wa IEBC waliopinga matokeo ya uchaguzi wa urais katika uchaguzi mkuu uliopita. Kinara wa ODM Raila Odinga na mwenzake wa Wiper Kalonzo Musyoka wanahudhuria vikao hivyo vya leo. Hebu sasa tufululize mubashara hadi jumba la County Hall tusikilize ni kipi kinajiri.
Maximum of 5 minutes per council. So
we stand guided.
If it is Advocate Jotham Arwa who is beginning, we give him 5 minutes, but please, there should be no repetition. Because if there is repetition, I invoke my inherent jurisdiction to say that has been argued, it has been presented. So we listen to you so that, and I remind you of the various court decisions that preliminary objections are usually on points of law. They are not on matters of evidence, on matters of fact. So as you proceed, please note, it has to be on matters of law and not evidence.
Chair, on a point of order. On a point of order. Thank you, Chair. I appreciate the issues being raised by our colleagues on the other side. They want to raise a preliminary point of order. May I know from the Chair whether that notice of preliminary objection has actually been served on the parties or is basically ambush? Yes.
I think let's listen to it. Then after that, we shall be able to make a decision on it. It's purely procedural. It may be in writing. It may be oral. Whichever way, we will give it the fair consideration it deserves. So let's give Jotham Arwa the floor. Please, let's have minimum interruptions now.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, for giving me the opportunity to speak. But I would like to begin by making a request. You directed that the PO be raised in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
But I believe that the PO that I have cannot be raised in 5 minutes. Mr. Chairman, the substance of my PO is that this committee has no jurisdiction to entertain any of the 4 petitions. And I have a total of 10 grounds. Now, it is not practically possible to argue even one of them in 5 minutes. Sorry. I would therefore humbly request...
I'll stop you slightly.
Yes.
As when it comes to allocating time, our standing orders grant that to us. And number 2, your PO, if I'm not wrong, is in writing. We have it written. And this committee actually is able to read. So in 5 minutes, just summarize why the committee lacks jurisdiction, because that goes into the core of what we have before us.
Thank you, Chairman. I stand guided. But I wish to point out that, first, as I've stated, this committee is listening to hear a very important complaint against a public officer, a complaint that seeks removal of a public officer. And it is proper that the committee should be guided by the provisions of its own standing orders and the Constitution. All the 4 petitions, Mr. Chairman, cite provisions of the Public Officer Ethics Act. And this particular legislation, Mr. Chairman, at section 35, prescribes a procedure that is supposed to be used to deal with cases of misconduct by public officers. And it states very clearly that such complaints should be addressed to a commission that has been created under that act. And with respect to commissioners of IEBC, Mr. Chairman, Section 3 of the Public Officer Ethics Act clearly states that a complaint concerning or seeking redress in connection with misconduct by a commissioner of IEBC should be addressed to the Committee of Parliament that is in charge of matters to do with the ethics of members. I refer you, Mr. Chairman, to page 52 of my preliminary objection. I have annexed the legislation. And if you read section 35, it says that the complaint should be referred to the commission. And if you go to section 3, it prescribes the relevant commission that is responsible for dealing with complaints against IEBC commissioners. And that is the committee responsible for the ethics of members. Mr. Chairman, I have also referred you to your own document, that is National Assembly documents that deal with the conduct of members. And it appears, if you look at page 23, you will see that the relevant committee of the House that deals with the ethics of members is the Committee of Privileges. Mr. Chairman, this is your own document. So if you read that provision and you look at the Act, then you will see that the right committee that should entertain these complaints is the Committee of Privilege and not this particular committee. Number two, Mr. Chairman, it's a requirement of your own standing orders, number 2223F, that before petitions can be received, they must indicate that they had complied, they had referred the matter in question to the relevant body. It means, Mr. Chairman, that Parliament should not be the first port of call for any complaint against a public officer. In this particular case, as required by your own standing orders 223F, as read together with 234, pursuant to which these proceedings are brought, the complaint should have been forwarded first to IEBC, and next, and more importantly, Mr. Chairman, to the Public Service Commission that has got a mandate to deal with conduct of public officers pursuant to Article 234, Sub-Article 2, Paragraph B. Your standing orders require that you abstain from entertaining any such complaint unless the relevant body has been given the opportunity to deal with the issue. Mr. Chairman, there is also the question of immunity by public officers. And this is provided for under Article 250, Sub-Article 9. And it says, public officers or members of independent commissions, when discharging the mandate of their office, are completely immune from proceedings such as this, especially when they act in good faith. And in this particular case, the contention that has been put, Mr. Chairman, is that they were discharging the functions of their office. And therefore, the Constitution accords them absolute immunity, and therefore we cannot initiate these proceedings. Mr. Chairman, I've also heard you mention that this is a quasi, it exercises jurisdiction that is both administrative and judicial at the same time. I wish to remind the committee that it is bound by the provisions of Article 50, Sub-Article 1. Article 50, Sub-Article 1 states that any person is entitled to a fair hearing before a court, before a tribunal, or before any other body that is making a decision that is likely to adversely affect the interest of anybody. And it's therefore important that you appreciate that you are bound by this particular constitutional provision to ensure that whatever proceedings that you conduct meet the minimum constitutional requirements. Now, in this particular context, Mr. Chairman, it is not conceivable that you can invite the respondents to come and defend themselves of allegations that they cannot even understand. Mr. Chairman, we have explained, we have sent letters to the clerk. We have sought clarification as to the nature of the complaints that are raised, and we have not received any response. Mr. Chairman, we have inquired whether we will be allowed to call witnesses. We have not been told. We have inquired whether we will be allowed to cross-examine the main complainant in this case, Mr. Chairman. And the main complainant, in our view, is none other than Wafula Chebukati. All the complaints basically reiterate the contents of his affidavit. Now, how are we supposed to engage with a petitioner who is merely reciting what he read from Wafula Chebukati's affidavit?
All right. Thank you.
At a point in time when we have not been given the opportunity to test
Thank
the
you.
veracity of that.
Thank you.
Those allegations. Mr.
Thank you
Chairman.
very much.
Chair, point
sorry.
of order, Chair.
Point of order, Chair.
Please.
Point of order, Chair.
Jeanette, please.
Chair,
I've not given you the floor.
Yeah, let me invoke Article. Standing Order 180, as you've just said. Chair, you know the committee must do their work through resolution, Chair. Even when we're in the plenary, you know, when the Speaker wants to allocate time, he asks the members, do we make it 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 2 minutes? It's not unilateral decision, Chair. So these people must get good time to put up their matters, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
It's a serious matter for the committee, Chair.
We've had you.
Yeah.
We've had you. Take a seat. Thank you.
Through
Honorable Arwa.
on a point of order, through the chair.
Who is okay? Who is
My name is Geshamba.
Sorry.
My name is Geshamba. I represent Francis Wanderi.
Are you the next one?
No. I just need to indicate to the House that I would wish to donate my 4 minutes to my senior, Mr. Arwa, who might be able to probably finish what you're submitting on.
So, let's not take such dilatory positions, please. These are serious proceedings before. You said you are 4 of you, and you're going to take each 5 minutes. You should have agreed up front that one person will make and take the 20 minutes.
Mr. Chair.
So, sorry, I have to guide. Sorry.
Can I?
Honorable TJ, you're out of order. Who is the next person?
It's interesting that every time I stand, I'm out of order, even when I don't.
But you can't also bulldoze.
Well, but you see, I must be recognized unless you want to make proceedings which are adverse to me. Mr. Chair, we are handling a very important issue in this nation. We must be seen to be fair. We must be seen to apply our minds to the Constitution and to be able to know the thinking of the members of the public, because here we represent the public. This is not a court of law. Here we represent the hearts and minds of the public out there. Now, an issue has been raised by the respondents. And we, of course, I have made myself comfortable with the fact that I am here to listen and not to prosecute, right? But I think that these people need enough time to be able to bring their issues out. As you see, these are legal jurisdictional issues. The lawyers are very distinguished. The lawyers are looking at the law and no sideshows. So I propose, Mr. Chair, because when I rose in the first time, I said that decisions in this committee should be handled in a consensual way by members of the committee, not the chair per se. Even an issue such as time needs to be handled because it is important. I propose, without taking you around, I propose that every of these councils should have 10 minutes minimum to be able to prosecute their issues with very little interruption. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Honorable Chair, I think if we operate or if we move on the way we are moving, we risk to be seen as if we have not had a chance to have a communication or to have a consensus on how we are going to move. I think we have had sufficient time from last week as a committee, to be sincere. We have talked, we have raised these issues, we have discussed as members of this committee, and we had taken a position as a committee that we have come up with a program in which our petitioners and also the respondents are going to be handling themselves. And I think up to now, what I'm seeing is a lot of interjections, which to me are basically derailing this process. And if we as members of the committee do not think that the chair should give direction as a chair, then we seem to be negating our own mandate as a committee. Because Honorable TJ, Honorable Junet, I think we as the members of committee must agree. We had talked and we had agreed on whatever we have on the floor. But again, at the same time, we must also agree that the chair should also guide. If the chair does not guide the process, then we risk being disorganized and being disorderly. So for me, I think I support.
Honorable Kagusha, thank you very much.
I support the decision
Your point
of the
is
chair.
made. Honorable Junet, please.
Chair, please.
And if at all we have, we completely have a problem with with the decisions of the chair, then I think the honorable chair, the only honorable thing then to do is to retreat as a committee and look at the issue of how we handle the emerging issues.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Chair, just I wanted to bring to the attention of the committee.
Honorable Jeanette, you have to be given time.
Standing order number 180, Chair, says that subject to the provisions of the standing orders and the directions of the committee, a chairperson of a committee shall A, preside at the meeting of the committee. Preside. 2, perform the functions and exercise the powers assigned to office of the chairperson by the committee resolutions. But Chair, what I want to say, I know my brother was the speaker for Nyeri County for many years, but you know National Assembly's standing orders are superior to the county assemblies. So Chair, I want to say this. Chair, we must guide the committee, you must preside over in accordance with the standing orders. Chair, the issues being raised by these lawyers who are representing here the respondents are very weighty matters that will inform your decision in the end.
Absolutely.
So if we give them 2 minutes, 3 minutes, Chair, 2 minutes, you can only say your name and say, I come from this village. You cannot say anything. Yeah?
Thank you, Honorable Jeanette. I've heard all of you. Let's move on, please. I got to preside. I'm presiding. So what you do is, I've had Honorable Kagusha, I have had Honorable Jeanette, I've had TJ. Vice Chair wants to say something.
Yes, Chair and all council present and members, for the information of the Honorable Jeanette, the word preside means to be in a position of authority in a meeting or other gathering. That is the meaning in the dictionary.
Okay. Thank you very much. Sorry. We've had you, and we said we observe decorum.
But again, Honorable Chair,
we have to observe decorum.
Honorable Jeanette must also show the members of this committee respect and decorum. I want to inform Honorable Jeanette that the standing orders of county assemblies are also superior. In fact, as a member, as a speaker of the county assembly, we observed the standing orders in a better way than the way Honorable Jeanette.
Thank you very much. Absolutely. Let's not drag this on further. I'm sorry, Honorable Jeanette, please go out of order.
Chair, this House of Records, your Vice Chair here is claiming that presiding over a meeting is having authority. I don't know where he's getting that. It's not the standing
just order. Where you got your own opinion from is where you got his.
180.
Thank you very much. He will tell you just shortly. Thank you very much.
Chief of Staff of Mutua. That is no different here.
Thank you, Master.
And unfortunately, Jeanette, you have to conduct yourself with the decorum. If you're going to be, we are looking at the idiot here. All right. Sorry. Vice Chair. I've had Honorable Kagusha, I have had Jeanette, I've had Honorable TJ. We will stick with the earlier guidance I gave, that it will be 5 minutes per council. If there is anybody who is donating time, now donate to the next person. Honorable Donald Mr. Donald, oh now you're Dr. Donald Kipkoril, so that he's able also to present his PO. Sure. Please let POs not be repetitive. And let us move on. So the floor now.
Do we take it that our presence here is? Do we take it that our representations and our presence here is not useful?
We shall deliberate over that ourselves.
That is not a matter of deliberation. That is a matter of procedure, because we are in.
Donald Kipkoril, you have the floor.
No, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, on a point of, I don't have to stand up.
Sorry, you don't have to stand up.
Yeah.
But I have not allowed the point of order.
No, a point of order, Mr. Chair. Fortunately, a point of order does not need to be allowed.
All right.
A point of order is something which comes to a member's mind.
All right.
Every member has an opportunity to put a point of order at any time. Honorable Farah will tell you, who has been a speaker here for so long, that a point of order is an issue of intervention that comes to the mind of a member at any time. So it is not an issue for which the speaker or the chair will recognize.
Make your point of order.
I am asking. We have raised issues, and we are hoping that the chair is listening and is able to give guidance. But every time we speak, we go back to where we are.
Good.
Are we saying that members of this committee do not have an authority, do not have views which they can express and which then can turn into issues that we can deal with. That's
Chair,
what I'm asking.
thank you very much.
Chair.
I have listened to...
Chair, please.
Honorable Soro, please.
No. What I'm suggesting is that because this is a house of democracy, we appreciate the fact that we appreciate your seat. But I want us to now take a different trajectory altogether in making decisions, generally. They have raised an issue about adjustment of time. And the chair feels otherwise. Being a house of democracy, we are very few here. Let's take a vote. If it's 5 minutes, we agree. If it's 10 minutes, we agree. And if the 5 wins, they keep quiet. If it's 10 that wins, we proceed. We are only 10 of us. Let's just take a vote.
Point of order. I do not think we need to be taking time on such matters which actually are within the discretion of the chair. We agreed on how to do it, and it has to be that way within our rules. I will listen to Honorable Farah, then I'll make a I'll make a direction, a guideline on what is to be done so that we move on. Because even if you try to delay this as much as you can, I don't think that is going to achieve the objective. Honorable Farah.
Chair, mine is I can see the precarious situation, the whole thing is going, but let's also keep our heads very cool. And my suggestion is that in the event one of the councillors there who has his own time decides to donate to somebody, please let's not force him to donate to somebody else. The Arwa was there and the next speaker wanted to donate his 5 minutes. It's the same time altogether. I beseech you, allow him to donate it to Arwa and let Arwa conclude his own presentation right now. And then we continue from there.
Chair. Did I understand the council? Now, Arwa, you represent?
Mr. Chairman, I represent Commissioner Justice Nyangaya.
Nyangaya.
Yes.
You represent?
Mr. Chair, I represent Commissioner Francis Wanderi.
Wanderi. So Wanderi donates his 5 minutes to Nyangaya.
Through the chair, my 4 minutes, because
4 minutes because you will have 1 minute
something to
add to it
in the event that nothing is captured.
Members,
not all things are captured.
Members, by consensus, we can agree because we are 20 minutes. The objection has to be done within the 20 minutes, and it's 20 minutes. That's what we had said.
That's okay for us,
Chair. So let's carry on.
It's okay, Chair.
It's okay, Chair. Chair, these are very serious people, and some of them you went to school with them. You say. So, Chair, 20 minutes is not enough for people who are very...
Is 20 minutes enough,
no,
the committee?
It's okay.
30 minutes.
The minute, 20 minutes is enough.
30 minutes,
Let them be 30, Chair,
30 minutes, Chair.
Because I believe...
How many say 20 minutes?
Chair, can I say something?
How many say 20 minutes?
Chair, can I say something from practice before we
please.
go that way? Chair, I remember I chaired the plenary one time when Honorable Kimunya was being censured. And because he wanted more time, I gave him the more time because you can understand the gravity of the people who are here. So if we say 20 minutes and 30 minutes, the difference is only 10 minutes. So let's allow them so that they can see that they have the justice that they need.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I think it makes sense. We take it from senior member of the House. Let it be 30 minutes. We will have 4 more minutes donated to Arwa. Arwa, you have your 4 more minutes to continue with your objection. Then from there we hear Donald. After that we hear who? Apollo.
Yes.
Let's agree on the timing. So you have 9 minutes. Out of that remains 21. 7. No, not 7. 7 divided by 2 is 10. Because he still has his 1 minute. So I'm dividing 29 minutes. Time is not running as I talk. All right? So it is how many minutes? He will have 9 or 10. We give you 10, 9, or 10. Apollo, you have 9 minutes and you have 1 minute. Is that okay?
I shall take that, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. So he has his, let's have his 5 minutes to finish, then you have your 10 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your magnanimity. I was at the point where I was talking about the obligation on the part of this committee to ensure that its proceedings meet the constitutional standard of fair trial. Mr. Chairman, the constitutional standard of fair trial requires that this committee gives everybody an opportunity to understand the question that the complaint that is raised against him before he can be called upon to defend. Every person accused, Mr. Chairman, must also be given adequate time to present his or her own defense. Third, there is the right to give evidence and the right to challenge evidence. All these, Mr. Chairman, are found in our own constitution. Now, with regard to the right to be given sufficient information to understand the charge, Mr. Chairman, there is a lot of problems that we have noted with the complaints, and I have captured them in my preliminary objection. Mr. Chairman, you cannot call someone to come and defend himself of proceedings that he barely understands. And I've given examples on the part of Mr. Justice Nyang'aya. One complaint that is raised against him by virtually all petitioners is that he was present and he agreed with some proposals made allegedly by Amos Wako and Raphael Tuju. His position is that he was not present in that meeting, and he has requested for guidance for the CCTV footages that would actually prove that he was not there. Now, if he was not there and he agreed, Mr. Chairman, he needs to know what medium did he use to communicate his agreement. Mr. Chairman, this is a critical question that he needs to know before he is asked to defend himself, because he was not there, and the footages which happily Bomas of Kenya has agreed to provide will confirm that. Mr. Chairman, there is the right to be given adequate time to present one's case. This is an issue that is arising even as we are here in this room. Mr. Chairman, in your own standing orders, you have provided in standing order number 230, sub rule 4, that each petition should be heard within a period of 14 days. My client is facing 4 petitions, and according to the standing order, each of them should be heard within 14 days. Mr. Chairman, these standing orders are made by this House, and they are intended to protect the rights of the parties. Now, it is not possible, Mr. Chairman, when the Constitution gives you the obligation to ensure there is fair trial, and then the standing orders gives you the power to give 14 days, then you limit my client to a maximum of 1 hour. Remember, Mr. Chairman, his life, his career is on the line. This committee should be seen, Mr. Chairman, not only to be doing what is right, but more importantly, to be upholding the Constitution. Then there is the issue of the right to present evidence. Mr. Chairman, this is a right that is guaranteed under our own Constitution. And you can only present evidence when you know the evidence you are going to meet. None of the petitions, Mr. Chairman, contained any evidence. You are calling us here to come and cross-examine the petitioners. It is expected, and we have litigated with you. You cannot challenge evidence that you don't know. And that is the reason why the Constitution makes it mandatory that you serve me with the evidence you are going to use against me, so that I can prepare with my advocate, so that I can come and cross-examine you. You are calling us to come and cross-examine him. We don't know what he's going to say. I have not prepared with my client on the content of the evidence he's going to give. So the entire process, Mr. Chairman, violates the Constitution. And I do not expect that my good friend would preside over proceedings that do not uphold the Constitution strictly. Mr. Chairman, there is the question of the right to challenge witnesses. And I would want to argue, Mr. Chairman, that the person being challenged here is the author of the document on which all the petitions are anchored. And that is none other than the chairman of IEBC. Every petitioner recites the content of his affidavit. Asking this gentleman here a question regarding what allegations that were made by the chairman of IEBC is futile. I've given you the example of my client who, as a matter of fact, did not attend the meeting which is alleged to have attended.
Counsel, you're on matters of evidence now.
But allow me just to finish with one point.
All right, half a minute.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, there is the petition by Geoffrey Langat, which does not require or ask this commission to remove my client. I do not think this committee has the power to entertain that petition under your own standing order number 230, because it is not a petition seeking the removal of a commissioner. It merely requests you to deliberate. And that therefore means that that particular petition is incompetent and ought not to be heard. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you very much. I have some lights in front of me. Yellow means you have 2 minutes when it goes on. I'll just give you half of that. Red means you have 1 minute. So once you see that, you know you're being notified not to be speaking after the time lapse. When I put it off, it's over. Donald, you have 10 minutes.
Yeah. Chairman, when my client was served with the petitions last week, she gave me copies of the petitions. I immediately wrote to the clerk of the assembly to confirm those petitions. The one by the Republican Liberty Party is 22 pages. The one by Reverend Dumbi is 31 pages. The one by Geoffrey Langat is 5 pages. And the last one by Award Steve Jerry is 6 pages. Those pages are very important, Mr. Chairman. Once the whole House of Parliament or a committee basically constitutes serving to an impeachment proceedings committee, it becomes a court of law. And the basic principle of law is parties are bound by the pleadings. So the 4 petitioners are bound by the pages I've referred to. Mr. Chairman, in the South African case of the removal of the Speaker Dilile, which has been referred by our court so many times, and also the decision of our Constitutional Court in which they quashed the decision of the JSC. Both decisions of South Africa and our Constitutional Court arrived at the same basic decision that once you're doing impeachment proceedings, you are bound by basically our laws. And that the High Court and the Constitutional Courts have a right to supervise what you're doing. In response to, Mr. Chairman, in response to those 4 petitions, I filed the POs on all the 4 petitions. And I urge you to refer, when you retire, to all the grounds I've set out in my preliminary objections to the 4 petitions. Just in a summary, Mr. Chairman, the petition by the Republican Liberty Party, it's on behalf of the party, but it's signed by Mr. Just 1 minute, Your Honor. The signature of the person is purporting to be the chairman of the party is Zakaria Matayo. But, Your Honor, Mr. Chairman, if you look at Section 16 of the Political Parties Act, a political party is a corporate body. There is no way a person purporting to be a chairman can sign a petition. There is no seal of the party. there is no confirmation or evidence that the parties had to pass a resolution for that Mr. Zakaria to file this petition. The other issue which cuts across all the petitions, Mr. Chairman, is the petitioners referred to so many articles of the Constitution and the articles of the IEBC Act, the Leadership and Integrity Act, and the Public Office Ethics Act. Such petitions, Mr. Chairman, are muddled, they're expansive, they're ambiguous, and they're superfluous. As I've said before, again, you're bound by the laws of this country. Our respondent needs to be given a case that has clarity, that is specific, that he can be able to answer. There's no way you can answer such petitions which are basically they go from Article 1 to Article 255 of the Constitution. There's no way you can answer such a question. So, you can answer such a petition. The other issue, Mr. Chairman, is none of the petitions is supported by an affidavit. A petition of such nature cannot be a statement. It can't just be a petition. It has to be backed by an affidavit that deposits to every allegation of fact in the petition. None of them is available in all the 4 petitions. Impeachment proceedings, are the highest kind of legal proceedings against any individual, because basically it ends someone's career. And you cannot base a petition on statement that is not evidence in an affidavit. Mr. Chairman, there are 3 allegations against my client: serious violation of the Constitution, gross misconduct, and incompetence. There is no evidence whatsoever on those allegations against my client. The other issue is again, as I said, you're bound by our Fair Administrative Act and Chapter 5 of the Constitution. Where again, across the 4 petitions, you can see that they are coming from a political bias. And that's, again, an ingredient in our legal system. Where a petition is motivated by bias, then it's not sustainable. You can see, basically they are coming from the same political side. Finally, I don't want to take it too much. If the clerk was magnanimous enough to send me all the 9 decisions of this parliament from 2013 until now, all the 9 of them, only one actually succeeded, went through, the JSC one. But still the High Court quashed it. So basically the history of this parliament, none of the impeachment proceedings has been concluded. And just to take you back in history, impeachment proceedings began in England in 14th century during the reign of King Richard II. It was basically intention of parliament to rein in the king without annoying the king. But then in 1795, that was the last impeachment in England, and England ended impeachment proceedings. So there are no longer impeachment in England because they realized the futility of impeachment when there are alternative remedies, which Mr. Arwa has argued, against a public official. We took our legal system, our laws from England. England has moved away from impeachment because it's a waste of time, it's a political tool, it's not a legal tool. It was supposed to rein in public officers for being corrupt, for being incompetent, and for treason. And now we have legal systems that are developed that deal with such errant officers. We have the Public Officers Ethics Act, we have the Corruption Act, we have the Penal Code. So basically, again, as such, if you go through my objections, we have alternative remedies, and this parliament should no longer be taking its time in impeachment proceedings. And Mr. Chairman, finally, as the petitions are not they're not supported by any affidavit. They are gossip, hearsay, and to paraphrase our Supreme Court, it's hot air, and they should not be entertained. They cannot be allowed to bring additional evidence. What they have filed is complete. I urge, Mr. Chairman, of the committee, when you deliberate, you go through the petition, you strike them out. And finally, Chairman, I was just saying that because we didn't have enough time to argue our case, if we'll be able to submit a case law, because I have so much case law supporting all the issues I've raised in our objection, I can supply the committee with a case law, and then so that when you're deliberating, at least there is supporting law.
Thank you. But impeachment still remains part and parcel of our Constitution. So it is not illegal.
It's not illegal, but I'm saying even in England, they moved away. It's not, but it's still in the law in England.
We
it's
should
still in
be
the law, but
moving
they
away
stopped
from
practicing
it.
it. Yeah,
but it's not. It's still part and parcel of the celebrated constitution.
It is in the law, and
Right.
yeah, in England.
Thank you.
But they don't.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Apollo, you have how many minutes? Yours are
The
fewer.
ones you
Now I've
allocated
done
me.
20.
Yeah.
Or you?
No.
You have 9.
Yes, I have 9.
9 minutes.
Yeah, whatever remains, we will give them to our lead doctor.
9 minutes.
Thank
Let's
you.
start. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman. First of all, let me first congratulate the members of this committee who are duly elected by IEBC, the commissioners of which we know. So the commissioners who have been brought before this committee are the ones who conducted the elections that elected the members of this committee to Parliament. Chairman, I also want to adopt the submissions made by my learned colleagues with the necessary modifications as it may be to Commissioner Juliana Cherera. Now, Article 250, Sub-Article 9 of the Constitution, that is where the immunity of commissioners are. And it states very well that a member of the commission or a holder of an independent office for anything done in good faith in the performance of the function of that office, they shall not be victimized. And when you retreat, please look at Article 50, Sub-Article 9. And that one is for all the 4 petitions. Now, going straight to each individual petition, some have been, I don't want to be repetitive, but let's start with the first petition by Republican Liberty Party. The petitioner is different from the signatory. The petitioner is Republican Party. Then it is signed by Zakayo Matayo. So there is no petition there. Honorable Chair, let's go to petition number 2 by Reverend Dennis Ndwiga Zumbi. Again here, this petition falls flat on account of Article 250, Sub-Article 9 of the Constitution. Pardon? Yes, that is the immunity section that you cannot hold against the commissioners who are doing their work and did their work in a fairly and in good faith, performed their function. Honorable Chair, the drama starts with the petition by Geoffrey Langat. Now, Geoffrey Langat, which does not pray for any removal, first, of any of the commissioners, but refers to somebody, one Juliana Cherera. There is no such a person in IBC called Juliana Cherera. We have Juliana Cherera, not Cherere. So the removal here is not of Juliana Cherera. Here we have Juliana Cherere. Probably by the time they are making their submission, they'll tell us who that person is. And of course, we will not allow any amendment to this petition. There they are. Now, again, Honorable Chair, if you look at the petition by Owur Steve Jerry, again, seeking removal of an unknown person, Juliana Cherera. There are no such officers by that name in IEBC. The sum total of my submission is that there is no petition before this House, before this committee, capable of being investigated. And the last issue that I want to speak about is what my learned colleague, Dr. Arwa, talked about. If at all this committee was to be seized of this petition, there is a very elaborate procedure that should have been followed, including going to PSC, including other forums before finally landing where we are right now. And if at all again, this committee was to be seized of this petition, what they have to do first was to lift the immunity in Article 250, Sub-Article 9. As far as we are concerned, such immunity has not been lifted. Your Honorable Chair, I donate the rest of my minutes that are remaining to Dunstan Omari.
Thank you very much, Chair.
You represent Cherera?
Yes.
And he represents
The
Cherera?
three of us, yes.
He has it's left 2.
How many more minutes, Chair?
2.
You can indulge us with 1 minute. Others are a minute. Chair.
No problem. Give you 3 minutes.
Thank you very much. Chair, the sum total of the submissions of my colleagues is that procedurally this motion has not met the threshold to be admitted. 2, under the parliamentary standing orders, these petitions are 4. Our client is supposed to have been given at least 14 days for each petition. Cumulatively, that should be 56 days. That has been waived purely because Mike, our client, who is the vice chair, is supposed to be handed over power after the retirement by the current commissioner, the chairman of the commission. So we urge this committee not to fall into that political trap, to move so fast and recommend so that a tribunal is set to remove the current vice chair. Every indication looks at that. The legal requirement, the constitutional requirement have been intentionally been flouted to allow the current chair to continue in the absence of the 4. May that be taken very seriously, that this country, this commission, this JLAC is holding the country at ransom. The decision of this committee is likely to impact this country in a manner unknown as serious constitutional crisis. The free serving ones are leaving. The 4, there is a political intention to remove them. We are heading to a serious national crisis. May the committee see deeper than what is being put here. Chair,
Thank you.
Chair, allow him so that he can be paid 1 minute.
Just less than a minute.
As we are paid, we represent. Let him put one word.
What is he putting? He finished his...
No, he has only one word. He has instruction.
1 word.
Only one word.
All right, so that we are fair.
Thank you
Let's
for
be
indulgence.
fair to Apollo. Apollo, 1 word. Half a minute.
Thank you, Chair. I want to invite the committee to the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act, Chapter 15 of the Laws of Kenya. Now, the petitioner in, that is the Republican Party, Liberty Party, has alluded to evidence which largely is pegged to the chairman of IEBC affidavit that he presented before the Supreme Court. He has not presented evidence by himself of what he knows by himself in regard to the conduct of the vice chair of the IEBC. So, Chair and members of the committee, this petition is not available for to be accommodated for channeling because the petitioner himself has not alluded, has gone off the provisions of the Oaths and Statutory Declarations Act. That's the point I wanted to make. Thank
you very much. Chitamba. That is the name?
Geshamba.
Geshamba. Thank you very much. Geshamba, we hear you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
1 minute.
Yes, indeed. I would wish to first associate myself with the submissions of my colleagues. I would equally wish to highlight to the House on issues of Article 50 on the fair hearing. Section 3 and Section 35 of the Public Officers Ethics Act, and more importantly, Mr. Chair, Article 35 of the Constitution on access to information. It is our contention, Mr. Chair, that Article 35, on account of the petitions that have been presented before this House, has been greatly violated. And as my colleague, Mr. Nyaberi, has indicated, that all the petitions and the allegations before this House are not supported by any evidence. And if there was any evidence, and in line with Article 35, then this House is mandated to call upon the evidence to be supplied by the petitioners. And in conclusion, I will just indicate that perhaps, and on the face of the petitions, these are petitioners who have come out as persons who had their feelings hurt by the alleged actions of the four commissioners. And there is no forum under law that provides for hurt feelings. And definitely not this House. And as per your prayer, Mr. Chairman, and I would quote, that you sought that the deliberations be seen to be fair, just, and right. And we extend that opportunity back to the floor for the objections that have been raised before you to be given the due consideration on account of the lives of the petitioners before you. That is all.
Thank you very much. We've heard you. We need to give you some decision in a few minutes. The most important objection that you have raised is on jurisdiction. Because once we resolve that...
A point of order, Mr. Chairman. Would the other counsel for the other parties, petitioners, be given an opportunity to respond before Chair, you take it on?
Which counsel?
For the petitioners. For the petitioners.
Does he wish to do so?
Procedurally,
you wish
yes,
to do so?
Mr. Chairman.
No. Chair, he didn't ask you for it. I thought he was satisfied. But if he wants to say anything, let him say so.
I'll get my time and I respond at that particular time to all the issues raised.
Thank you very much. So the issue of the jurisdiction, your response would be we have jurisdiction. So why don't you go and determine whether we have or we don't?
Yes, there is jurisdiction for this committee.
Chairman.
Chair, on the point of order. Of course, as a matter of procedure, which Chair, you know I don't want to belabor, Senator Kongo has a right to respond to the issues raised by the respondents. We are here as non-partisan, neutral people. We want to hear what he has to say. Or even if he has nothing to say, we want to record that he had nothing to say when called upon to speak.
He has forfeited, actually. So
thanks, Chair. Thanks, Teacher, for your compliments. I just say that I'm going to get my time, and at that appropriate time, I respond to the emerging issues raised.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think that is sufficient for now. What we do, because more people are in here, it is the members who will move out. I will take them to the boardroom with the council, and in possibly maximum 20 minutes, we'll be back. So parliamentary council, so that they can guide us on everything. So in 20 minutes, maximum 20 minutes, we'll be back. And we shall give you a ruling. And please, from there, whichever way it goes, we must now proceed. Or if we have no jurisdiction, we must terminate the proceedings. Thank you.
Jeanette, perhaps you can give me a forum. Perhaps it's important for him to understand that he cannot respond to this issue once we have made a decision on it.
Chair, if that's the case, if that's the case, I'm guided. I stand guided. I didn't know that you were retreating to make a decision on this. Let me just make a few remarks
on the points of law.
On the points of
Please
law.
do not go to evidence, because much of it was on evidence.
Yes, Chair.
Mr. Chair, just for clarity, do we have a right to respond to what he will have said?
Let's hear it first, so that, if you do that, then it is right to respond and what have you. I give you only 5 minutes, sir, to respond, especially on the issue of jurisdiction.
most surprised, Chair. Chair, when when the first petitioner lodged the petition in Parliament, it was sent to the Speaker, to the Clerk of the National Assembly. And I understand, Chair, that petition was sent for scrutiny to the relevant legal department, which brought to this committee. So on matters jurisdiction, this committee has immense jurisdiction to make determinations whether the petitions presented have a prima facie case, as you collectively highlighted earlier on. Secondly, Mr. Chair, what I respond to is the document and letter sent by Senior Counsel Donald Kipkorir, and they are supported by other councils on the issues of documents of evidence, affidavits to be attached to the petition. I need to refer them to the Petitions Procedural Act, which entails how a petition can find its way to Parliament. In that regard, our petition is in order, and we are ready to present it, Mr. Chair. That's all I have to say.
Mr. Chairman, can I just...
Honorable Wanda, you are totally out of order. You cannot absolutely participate in these proceedings.
As Amisai.
No, you can't. I'm sorry, you know the standing orders. I'm going to refer you. Sorry, you cannot participate. Sorry,
Mr. Chairman, just give me a hearing.
Take your seat, please.
As Amisai.
I'm sorry, no.
Serious matters such as...
No, please.
Such as
you are out of order, and if that is, I'm going to revoke your being here. You're out of order completely.
Point of order, Chair.
Sorry. May we say this? Let me say it. We will have endless points of order. Gentlemen, raise whatever issue you have to raise when we go to make our decision.
No, Chair. That one now is the highest dictatorial way of handling a committee. Chair, let me raise this matter. I'm on the floor. Or I leave it.
Let's retreat, please.
No, Chair,
Gentlemen,
that retreatment is what I want to speak on. Chair, the issues that have been raised by the lawyers, the preliminary objections that have been raised by the lawyers representing the respondents, Chair, are very, very heavy matters, Chair. They have raised issues. No, I don't need to retreat, because what is done in private can be harmful to the public. Let us do our things in public so that people know, Kenyans know what we are doing. We are representing Kenyans. So, Vice Chair, I cannot do things in private. So, Chair, these issues are very heavy.
Thank you.
No, I'm going on. Chair, I'm proposing this. We want to digest those issues, analyze them, internalize them, so that we can come back when we are seized of these issues properly.
Thank you.
So, Chair, I stand on my feet to move a motion that we adjourn this committee officially for now, until such a time when now we reconvene. 20 minutes cannot be enough, Chair, to digest issues that have been raised on jurisdiction, issues of fake names and wild chase goose and hot airs. Chair, those things are very heavy.
We may actually need 5 minutes to do
Chair,
that.
we are not listening here to a presidential petition. We have all the time to analyze things in this committee, Chair.
Thank you very much.
One of the reasons why Parliament loses petitions all the time in court, Chair, is this issue of hurrying up the petition.
Thank you.
We are in a hurry to score politically. This is a political process, and we want to score politically, and we want to appease people that we have done our work. No, Chair. Let us adjourn the committee officially so that we can retreat and agree when to reconvene. That's our position. Actually, on the minority side, we want to consult more with our researchers, our lawyers. Under Standing Order 230, we are allowed to consult experts. We want to go and consult experts on these issues. Some of us are laymen. The other day when we were in the committee...
Honorable Junet, please, you can't go on forever.
Let me finish. The other day when I was in the committee, we did not agree on this timetable, but you used some words. Somebody who's like me, who's not a lawyer, will not understand. Juriscatus, those things I have to go and consult.
Thank you.
I have to go and consult my lawyer, Chair. That's the position.
Thank you. We have enough representation for Parliament, for advocates. Honorable Farah, I think we are happy. Anything else is going to be raised when we go to the boardroom. We have maximum 20 minutes. All right? So, hold on. It is in agreement. We have agreed.
we can use that the 20 minutes,
20 minutes to listen to him.
To decide
that we are not in agreement.
we are going again for 24 hours or so.
Thank you very much. Let's retreat.
Chairman,
Honorable Chair.
Chairman, a point of order.
Honorable Chair.
Chairman.
Chair.
24 hours.
Chair.
Honorable Chair, but it's also good to also remind Honorable Junet that in the timetable he says that we did not agree. He actually did not attend that meeting. And so he did not participate in it, but all the other members attended.
Chair, that's not true. Chair, that's not true. I attended the meeting. Chair, I attended the meeting. That's where you brought the issue of juris cata. I need to know what is juris cata.
Well, do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga,
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga,
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga,
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga,
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
Waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
Waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la Siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
Waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Naam, karibu tena mtazamaji, tuzidi kukufahamisha. Tumekamilisha awamu ya kwanza ambapo tumekuwa na kufuatilizia shughuli nzima kule katika eneo ama jumba la City Hall, ambapo shughuli nzima ya kuwachunguza wale makamishina wanne ambao walipinga matokeo ya uchaguzi wa Agosti 9. Shughuli hiyo hivi sasa iko kwenye mapumziko, na hivi sasa tunarejea hapa studioni ambapo nipo na wachanganuzi wa masuala mbalimbali na vile vile mawakili ili kuweza kudadavua swala hili tuweze kuelewa hatima ya wale makamishna wanne ambao maarufu wanafahamika kama Cherera 4 ni ipi, na labda tutakuwa tunasubiri muda upi, ikizingatiwa kwamba tume ya IEBC ni tume huru, tume ambayo inaendesha shughuli za uchaguzi na vile vile kikubwa uratibu wa mipaka. Karibu sana, wakwetu wananiita Joash Onsare. Moja kwa moja nizungumze na wageni. Kwanza kabisa niko naye kwa mbali kabisa, niko naye Njuguna. Karibu sana Njuguna.
Asante sana. Naomba nichukue fursa hii kwanza niweze kukushukuru na kushukuru management ya TV47
ndio
kwa kutuarika hapa ili tuweze kuangalia masuala ambayo ni ya muhimu zaidi katika nchi yetu.
Shukran sana. Diana Wamamu, wakili, karibu sana katika studio zetu.
Asante sana, na nimeshukuru sana kupata nafasi kuongelea kuhusu hili swali ambalo limeangazia kwa watu wengi sana. Asante sana.
Shukran sana. Nicholas Louis.
Louis.
Yeah. Louis ama Louis? Louis. Hiyo S ina nyamaza kidogo. Karibu sana.
Thank you. My name is Arole Nicholas Louis. I prefer Arole because that's my surname. Nimefurahi sana kuwa hapa kualikwa kuzungumzia mambo haya ambayo ni ya kikatiba na pia mambo ambayo yana uzito mwingi katika ukumbi wa siasa sasa hivi.
Nianze nawe, kuna hili swala la Cherera 4 na tumeweza kuona kwamba hivi sasa vile vikao vya kuwachunguza kupitia kwa kamati ya sheria na haki bungeni vimeanza na hivi sasa vitaendelea, ambapo wale ambao wanawasilisha maombi ya kutaka kubanduliwa kwao washafanya hivyo. Unadhani kwamba swala hili litalemaza shughuli katika tume ya IEBC?
Ndiyo, litalemaza shughuli kwa sababu ukiangalia vizuri sana the policies that need to be developed katika IEBC sinahitaji quorum wakati mwingine. Lakini pia tunaweza kuona kwamba IEBC inaweza transact very important businesses also without the four commissioners, because this was the arrangement before they were sworn in, because we had IEBC actually making very important policy decisions that included collecting the signatures, although the court actually at the end of the day, the High Court and the Supreme and the Court of Appeal actually say that the quorum was not a problem. But the Supreme Court as well in the BBI case actually said that, you know, as long as you have the three commissioners, nothing is the problem. So in this particular case, I think the remaining 3 who actually endorsed, who did not walk out of the results, can continue with the policy frameworks of the IBC.
Asante sana. Diana Wamamo, tunaelewa kwamba kikatiba utapata kwamba muda wa wale makamishna wawili ambao ni Boya Molu na Gulie na vile vile sasa mwenyekiti wa IBC Wafula Chebukati, muda wao unakamilika Januari, na tuko nao makamishna 4 ambao hivi sasa wanaandamwa. Unadhani kwamba shughuli hii yote itaweza kuathiri vipengee vya sheria katika kutekeleza majukumu yao?
Ndivyo, inaathiri kwa maana tutakuwa tumebaki na wale makamishona 3 pekee, na isitoshe tunaona ya kwamba itakuwa inaweka ile picha ya kwamba kila wakati ambapo kuna commissioners ni kama wanashurutishwa ama hana uhuru ya kufanya kazi yake. Na katiba inatueleza ya kwamba kila mtu ako na uhuru, ile freedom and rights of how to operate speech and everything. So wakati tunaweka ile picha ya kwamba kila wakati kukikuwa na neno lolote na tume kuu ya IBC inakuwa kuna wekewa yani maneno ya kushurutisha wanaofanya kazi kama wale commissioners. Unapata hakuna ile independence ambayo inaitwa uhuru ya kufanya kazi. So ina set precedence mbaya, ina set precedence ambayo haina uhuru ya kila mtu kufanya kazi.
Asante. Njuguna, kuna swala, wewe ni mtaalamu wa masuala ya uongozi na vile vile unachanganua masuala ya kisiasa sana. Tumeona siasa hivi katika muda mfupi uliopita, tumeweza kuona wale vinara wa Azimio wakuu wamefika katika vikao hivyo, wakakaa pale kushuhudia kinachojiri. Unadhani kwamba hizi siasa zinasaidia chochote katika vyombo hivi ama taasisi ama tume kuwa huru katika kutekeleza majukumu yao?
Kwanza kabisa lazima kwanza tujue ya kwamba IBC kitu ya kwanza katika katiba inafaa kuwa huru zaidi.
Ndio.
Na tukiona jinsi walikuwa wakifanya kazi wakati wa uchaguzi, tulikuwa tunaona vizuri ya kwamba wamejaribu sana kukua na uhuru ambao tulikuwa tuna expect katika kikatiba. Ndiyo. Lakini mwisho tukajipata ya kwamba ni kama kuna wao commissioners ambao pengine wanapata instructions kutoka pande zingine. Ndiyo. Na ndio imetufikisha mahali tuko sasa. Na kulingana na vile tunaona kikatiba kuna ile shughuli nzima ambayo imewezwa tumepewa katika katiba. Ndiyo. Article 251 ya katiba yetu ambayo inatuelezea namna ya kuondoa hao IBC commissioners. Na mimi nashangaa kuona viongozi wengine wa kisiasa wakienda kuingia katika kile kikao kuweza kuhusishwa ama kukaa katika ile kikao ambayo petitioners wanaelezea ni kwa nini wanaona ni vizuri hawa commissioners waweze kuondolewa. Na mimi vile kwa mtazamo wangu naona viongozi wa upinzani ambao wamefika pale ni kama ni njia ya kujaribu tuseme kutia hofu kwa wale members wao ambao ni wa Azimio, ya kwamba hawataweza kuwa na ile uhuru ya kufanya ile kazi ambayo wamepewa kikatiba, kwa sababu hii kazi ya kusikiza hizi petitions ni kazi ya National Assembly, na sioni kama kuna haja yoyote ya wanasiasa wengine ambao sio viongozi katika National Assembly kukua kwa hiyo kikao. Lakini pia ni vizuri niseme ya kwamba hii wakati ambao tumeanza kukua na hii petition ya commissioners kuondolewa, naona ni wakati mwafaka zaidi, kwa sababu kulingana na Cherera report, unakumbuka ya kwamba Cherera alikuwa hiyo committee ilikuwa imerecommend ya kwamba tusikuwe na mabadiliko ya commissioners katika IBC kama kwa muda ambao umekaribia uchaguzi mkuu. Na kwa hivyo wakati kama huu ndio mwafaka zaidi kuwa na huu mjadala wa kujua kama tutakuwa na IEBC commissioners wakiendelea ama wataondolewa, kwa sababu ile uchaguzi ambao tuna expect kikatiba ni 2027. Kwa hivyo tutakuwa na muda enough time ya kuondoa hawa ma commissioners na kurudisha wengine wapya kama watapatikana na hatia yoyote. Kwa hivyo mimi naona kwa mtazamo wangu this is the best time ya kukua na huu mjadala ili tuweze kukua na independent commission.
Ndio.
Kwa hivyo kwa mtazamo wangu naona si vizuri zaidi, sio vizuri sana kuona viongozi wa upinzani wakiingilia ile kikao cha bunge.
Ndio.
Wacha tusikize petitioners vizuri, wabunge wakuwe huru, waweze kupeana recommendations zao, na wao pia wabunge pia lazima wakumbuke ya kwamba bunge linafaa kuwa huru. Ndiyo. Kama tu ile shirika la IEBC.
Asante. Diana, tuangazie ile swala, kuna zile technicalities. Kwa mfano unapata kwamba tumeweza kusikiliza vikao hivyo na wale mawakili ambao wanamwakilisha naibu mwenyekiti wa IEBC Juliana Cherera, wanasema kwamba wale ambao waliwasilisha maombi ya kutaka waondolewe walikosea kuandika jina Juliana Cherera, wakaandika Cherere. Unadhani kwamba kisheria hizo petitions ama hayo maombi yashawasilishwa wabanduliwe? Unadhani hizo errors ambazo tunaziona zitaathiri hiyo kusikizwa kwa hiyo kesi?
Kitu ambacho inafaa tufahamu kwanza ni kwamba technicalities haziwezi zikawa technicalities kama jina na vitu kama hivyo haviwezi vikawa vizuizo kwa kusikiza hiyo petition. Na pia sheria imepeana utaratibu wa kutoa kina Cherera kutoka kwa tume. So hiyo utaratibu iko under article 251 ya katiba. Na inanena ya kwamba kwanza petition inapelekwa kwa National Assembly, inapokelewa na clerk wa National Assembly.
Ndio.
Kutokea hapo National Assembly wataiangalia na basi wata-identify a committee, tuseme a special, kama tume specific ambayo itaangalia haya maswala. Na hiyo committee ambayo imewekwa sahizi ni JLAC, Justice Legal Affairs Committee. Maana ya Legal Affairs Committee kuingia ni kuangalia maswala haya na kuangalia ikiwa watu ambao wamesalimisha haya maneno wamefikisha ile threshold ama kiwango ambacho inatoshea kutoa kina Cherera.
Ndio.
Na iwapo haitakuwa hivyo basi watabakia. Na iwapo kweli itapatikana wamekiuka sheria ama wameenda kinyume na chapter 6 of the Constitution which talks about integrity, then watatolewa.
Ndio.
So hizi technicalities ambazo tunasema zinahusiana na jina na nini haviwezi vikawa kizuizo kufikia na kutatua haya maneno.
Ndio, asante. Nicholas, tuangazie ile swala la hawa makamishna wanne. Tumeweza kusikiliza utaratibu wa kuwaondoa kwenye ofisi, na hivi sasa tuliweza kushuhudia uchaguzi wa Agosti 9 na tuliona ni wale ambao walijiondoa. Unadhani kwamba yale ambayo yamewasilishwa yanatosha kuwaondoa ofisini?
Nitaangalia zaidi not so much from whether what has been tabled against them is actually enough to remove them from office.
Ndio.
But more from were they right from walking out? Yeah, ukiangalia kikatiba IEBC in article 248 sub article 2C, IEBC as a commission is one of the commission that is actually mandated to protect the sovereignty of the people.
Ndio.
And in protecting the sovereignty of the people, they must go in tandem with Article 10 of the Constitution, which talks about national unity. And at the end of the day, they walk out of the commission when the nation was actually waiting for presidential results. In itself alone gives them proper grounds for removal in the office. And I am sure that the petitioner in this particular sense must have enough grounds to be able to establish the ground for removal, which are established constitutionally under Article 251 of the Constitution. And so at the end of the day, you realize that the commissioners usurped the powers that they are given actually constitutionally, and which their removal is actually imminent. It is the removal is imminent, and it's something that is just bound, and within time the removal is actually going to be actualized. Yeah, thank you.
Tuangalie swala la muda. Nikianza nawe Njuguna, unadhani kwamba tumeweza kushuhudia katika vikao vya leo kwamba wale wabunge hawajafikiana na ule mwafaka, labda wanasema muda ni mchache ambao wamepewa? Unadhani kwamba swala hili litajikokota mpaka ifikie wakati kwamba ule muda wa wale makamishona wengine wawili, Boya Molu na Gulie, na vile vile mwenyekiti ambaye ni Wafula Chebukati, kusalia tu ofisini kwa sababu zoezi hilo bado linaendelea?
Kwanza ni vizuri tujue ya kwamba hii komiti ya JLAC iko na mamlaka ya kuamua vile wataendeleza vikao vyao.
Ndio.
Lakini pia lazima tujue ya kwamba kuna ile timelines ambazo wamepewa na speaker wa bunge.
Ndio.
Na speaker wa bunge ambaye ni Moses Wetangula aliwapea maagizo ya kwamba lazima wakuwe wamemaliza hii mambo kwa muda wa siku 14. Lakini pia walipewa hiyo nafasi ya kwamba kama wataona ya kwamba kazi yao ni mingi zaidi, pengine wanahitaji muda zaidi, wanaweza ongezewa muda.
Ndiyo.
Lakini kwa maoni yangu, kwa mtazamo wangu, ni kwamba hii ni jambo ambalo JLAC pengine itajaribu kuharakisha, kwa sababu pia lazima tujue ya kwamba hata kama tuko na hizi petitions,
ndio,
pia kuna ile dimension ya kisiasa ambapo pia kwa siasa tunasema ya kwamba sio kila kitu ikitendeka kuna kuanga na pengine hakuna coincidence, yani ni kuna zile forces zingine pengine zinafanya mambo ifanyike. Kwa hivyo nafikiria ya kwamba kama kuko na political goodwill ya kuhakikisha ya kwamba IEBC iko na viongozi ambao wanafaa kufanya kazi, kufanyia wananchi kazi, pengine JLAC pia haitajikokota.
Ndio.
Niko na matumaini ya kwamba bunge itafanya na itaharakisha hii petition ili petitioners pia waweze kupata haki zao kwa muda ambao unafaa.
Ndio.
Na pia ni vizuri tujue ya kwamba lazima tukue na the big picture in our minds. Tukumbuke ya kwamba hii kazi ambayo tunafanya ya commissioners, kama ingewezekana, kwa maoni yangu ni kwamba hawa commissioners pia wanafaa kupewa haki yao, wamalize kujieleza wao wenyewe. Hatufai kuwaraumu wakati huu mpaka tuweze kupata hiyo judgment. Lakini tukichukua muda zaidi bila kuwapatia hiyo nafasi ya kujieleza na pia kuamuliwa ya kwamba hawajakosea ama wamekosea, tutakuwa tukiwanyima haki zao za kikatiba.
Ndio.
Ni vizuri tuweza kuharakisha hii process ili pia wakati tutakuwa na commissioners ambao wanaenda kumaliza kazi yao, wale watatu wakiongozwa na Chebukati, inaweza kuwa ni kitu mzuri sana kama tunaweza kuwa na commissioners wengine tukireplace hao, pia tukuwe na commissioners wale ambao pengine wataondolewa wakuwe replaced at the same time, ili tuweze kuwa na commission ambayo wakati tutafikia wakati wa 2027 hatutakuwa na commission ambayo imeletwa kwa haraka. Tukuwe na commission ambayo imeweza kuwekwa na inafanya kazi, imeweza kujihusisha vizuri na kazi yao, ili wakati tutafikia uchaguzi tukuwe na at least nchi yetu isikuwe na wasiwasi na ile IEBC tutakuwa nayo. Asante sana. Naomba mshikilie hapo mtazamaji. Hivi sasa nikuvushe nikupeleke kaunti ya Nandi ambapo mwanahabari wetu Chris Bet yuko tayari. Chris Bet, iwapo unanipata, hebu tutaarifu wakazi wanasemaje kuhusiana na shughuli nzima ama mchakato mzima wa kuwatimua makamishna wanne wa IEBC.
Hii leo kamati ya sheria bungeni inatarajiwa kusikiza ombi ambalo liliwakilishwa na Wakenya wanne wakitaka kuondolewa mamlakani kwa makamishna wanne wa tume ya IEBC ambao walisemekana kuvunja sheria na kujaribu kubatilisha uamuzi wa uchaguzi mkuu ambao ulipita. Je, wakazi wa kaunti ya Nandi wana maoni gani? Hapo awali niliweza kuzungumza na baadhi yao na walikuwa na haya ya kusema.
Kulingana na maoni yangu ni ya kuwa hawa waime kwa lugha ya kimombo wanaitwa victims of circumstances. ya kuwa waliamua kusikiza kutoka kwa wakubwa wao na wakafanya kulingana na jinsi walivyoambiwa. Maoni yangu ni ya kuwa hawa watu wangesamehewa ama wafanyiwe haki kulingana na sheria, kwa sababu kutii ni bora kuliko dhabihu, na wakaamua kutii wakubwa wao. Ukipewa kazi na mkubwa yako na kuambie fanya ABCD, unafanya ili umfurahishe. Sasa ukifurahisha mkubwa yako na hali iende jinsi ilivyoenda, inamaanisha ya kuwa umetii, lakini bado imeenda hivyo. Maoni yangu ni ya kuwa wangefanyiwa haki, na pia mkono wa sheria uchukue mkondo wake, na hiyo kesi naona kama leo wanajua hatima yao.
Today, as the Cherera team appears before Parliament, I want to believe that they deserve whatever action Parliament takes. The reason why is because they acted contrary to their mandate. Why I'm saying so is because they participated alongside their fellow commissioners from the start to the end, only to be influenced by the other team to try and change otherwise. So I want to call upon the Parliament to take a deserving action against the commissioners.
Hawa viongozi hawa kina Cherera hawa wanafaa hata wakuwa washare sign tangu juzi ama jana. Maanake karibu waweke mahali papaya hii nchi yetu ya Kenya. Na tunawasihi sana hata wale viongozi ambao wanaendelea pale bungeni kuwataka kuwatoa. Ni hatua mzuri. Hila tu ningependa hata kuomba hii mambo ya kuondoka kwa ofisi itokee hao commissioners wenyewe. Alafu tuwaombe pia wale ambao wataweza kupewa kazi hiyo ya commissioners wa IBC waike mfano ya ule Chebukati ambaye alikuwa chairman wakati wa uchaguzi. Pia tunaomba pia hao wana viongozi wetu wa kisiasa wasirudishe nchi sana kwa mambo ya siasa. The politics is over. Tunataka sana kazi ifanyike. Tunataka hata ile mambo ambayo kina Cherera wanataka watolewe isikuwe politically, ifanywe tu kwa njia ya haki. Lakini mambo ya siasa tuwaje siasa ilipita, watu wafanye kazi na Wakenya wapewe services ambayo inaweza kuwatosha.
Kama ulivyosikia, wakazi hao wa kaunti ya Nandi wamesema kuwa makamishna hao wanne wameitaka sheria iweze kuchukua mkondo wao dhidi yao, wakisema kuwa wao waliweza kuvunja sheria, huku wengine wakisema kuwa waweze kusamehewa kwani waliweza kushawishiwa. Kutoka hapa kaunti ya Nandi ni hayo tu kwa sasa. Jina langu ni Chris Bet, narejesha kwako studioni.
Namshukran sana Chris Bet kwa kutuletea maoni hayo kutoka kwa wakazi wa kaunti ya Nandi kudadavua swala hili la makamishna wanne ambao walikana yale matokeo ambayo yalitangazwa na mwenyekiti wa IEBC Wafula Chebukati. Mtazamaji, tunazidisha gumzo hili muhimu zaidi, sema nasi kupitia mitandao yetu ya kijamii Facebook na vile Twitter TV47KE, na vile mtazamaji kikubwa zungumza nasi kupitia nambari ambayo ni arafa fupi ama ukipenda SMS ambayo iko kwenye kiwambo chako, ambapo tunazidisha gumzo hili. Hivi sasa nikupeleke kaunti ya Kisumu ambapo mwanahabari wetu Onesmus Baraka yuko tayari kutupa hisia za wakazi kuhusiana na shughuli nzima ya kuwatimua wale ambao ni makamishna wanne wa tume ya IEBC. Kwako Onesmus.
Naam, shukran sana mwenzangu Josh Onsare na kupata kwa njia safi sana hapa kaunti ya Kisumu, ambapo leo hii tunazungumzia swala zima lile la IEBC, hatima ile ya IEBC ambapo makamishna wale wanne huenda wakatimuliwa. Basi tuko na baadhi tu ya washikadau hapa kaunti ya Kisumu, wakereketo tu wa siasa, ambapo niko na mmoja wao na ataweza kujitambulisha na atuambie yeye kama mkereketo wa masuala ya siasa. Pengine ujitambulishe, kuja tu hapa karibu.
Mimi kwa majina naitwa George Collins Owor, nafanya na shirika lisilo la kiserikali ambayo inaitwa Transform Empowerment Faction Initiative. Chenye ningependa kusema kwanza kabisa ni hivi. Tukiangalia katika katiba ya Kenya, tunapata kuna zile tume huru, na mmoja wao ni hiyo Independent and Boundaries Commission, hiyo IEBC. So kwanza kabisa ningependa kujulisha Wakenya kwamba hii tume ni tume huru kulingana na katiba ya Kenya, na mtu yote ambaye angependa kuinterfere na hiyo sio halali. Vile Wakenya wako na haki ama mtu yoyote Kenya kuna haki ya kuuliza maswali kama kunazo kuhusu mambo vile ile tume imekuwa ikifanya kazi yake. Na vile vile hao commissioners pia wako na uhuru na haki yao ya kujitetea mbele ya grupu yoyote hata komiti yoyote, ili kuhakikisha kwamba na wao pia wanatoka kwa uwazi ili waeleze ni vipi mambo inaendelea na itakuwaje. Jambo kubwa yenye tungependa kuuliza ni hivi. Tunajua vizuri sana kwamba commissioners 3 wana retire. Vile vile tunajua kwamba hao 4 pia kuna shida kidogo pale ambapo inafaa ishughulikiwe. Swali ni hivi, wakati tuseme kwamba hawatakuwa pale, basi tutaendeleaje na zile mipango, kwa juu tunajua kuna by elections zinakuja, na pia vile vile election period huwa inaanza moja ikiisha. So hapo ndio kuna changamoto kidogo. But ningependa kusema kwamba hii tume ni huru, na Wakenya wako na haki ya kuipetition wakitaka, wakiona haifanyi kazi mzuri, na wao wenyewe wenye wako kwa tume pia wako na haki ya kujitetea. Unajua hii process imekuwa politicized. Kuna wale wanaegemea upande wa Azimio, kuna wale wanaegemea upande wa Kenya Kwanza. So utapata kwamba wakati wa uchaguzi kidogo inaonekana kwamba hawa wa commissioners 4 walikuwa pande ya Azimio. Hivyo ndio venye watu wanasema. Na wale wengine walikuwa pande ya nini? Kenya Kwanza. Lakini hatuna uhakika kwamba hiyo ndio chenye ilikuwa inafanyika. So kwa hii nafasi yenye wamepata, kila mtu ataweza kujitetea. Na ndio Wakenya wataamua, vile vile bunge itaamua na ione ni vipi. Lakini swala kuu pia kunayo, je, bunge iko na mamlaka ama iko na nafasi ya kuchukua nafasi ya kupeleleza hawa ama hawana? Hiyo pia ni swali kizungumkuti ambapo inapaa pia ishughulikiwe.
Na pengine kumalizia tu, tunapoelekea katika uchaguzi ndogo na pia mwakani 2027, pengine unaona ni kipi hapo kifanyike haswa katika tume IBC ili imani wa Kenya warudishe imani katika tume hii?
Kwanza kabisa tusichukue nafasi ndefu ya kutegua ile kuform hiyo commission, because shida yenye tumekuwa nayo Kenya hii ni kwamba tunangoja sana mpaka wakati inaisha ndio unasikia sasa tume tena inaundwa vizuri. Mimi ningependa kusema serikali kuna nafasi sahihi ya kuhakikisha kwamba tume inaundwa sahihi, ikuwe na commissioners wake, mastaffs wakuwe, wafanye evaluation kwamba waliperform aje, na kama kuna gaps ambazo zinafaa zishughulike sahihi.
Shukran sana. Basi mwenzangu Wansare, umezisikia mmoja tu wa shikadao hapa kaunti ya Kisumu wakereketwa siasa, wakieleza tu mstakabadhi huu wa maafisa hao 4 wa tume ya IBC, na kusema kwamba tume ya IBC iko huru na isipokuwa tu ni siasa ambazo zimeweza kuwekwa pale ndani. Ni hayo tu kwa sasa kutoka kaunti ya Kisumu, sina la ziada na kurudisha kwa studio. Mimi ni Onesmus Baraka.
Na shukran sana Onesmus Baraka kwa kauli hiyo na vile vile kuzungumza na wakazi wa kaunti ya Kisumu kuhusiana na swala hili. Mtazamaji, turejee papa hapa studio. Nilikuwa na swali kwa tushazungumza na Njuguna. Hivi sasa Diana, nizungumze nawe. Kuna masuala mengi tu ambayo yamejitokeza, na kutokana na mtazamo wako, wewe ni wakili kisheria, tume huru ya uchaguzi na mipaka IBC ni tume ambayo kisheria inafaa kuwa huru, lakini uhalisia hakuna uhuru. Inachangiwa na nini?
Kukosa uhuru kwa tume kuu ya IBC inatokana na ile ya kwamba kila mtu ama kila chama inapoingia pale inataka kuweka mahitaji yake pale. Yani self interest. Yeah. So unapata wakati mtu ako pale anafanya kazi kulingana na vile chama fulani nasema vile. Kwa hivyo hana ile inaitwa impartiality ama independent mind ya kufanya kazi. So kwa hivyo kwa akili yake kuna kuwa na zile mambo fulani ya kwamba chama fulani nataka hivi, chama fulani nataka hivi. Nayo katiba ndio inatakana tukue tunaangalia, maana hiyo ndio sisi na hiyo ndio demokrasia. Na hapo ndipo inafaa kila mtu aweke focus yake hapo. Tukiweka hii maneno kwa upande wa kisiasa ya kwamba chama fulani nataka, yule anataka, basi hakutawahi kuwa na uhuru kwa hii tume kuu ya IBC. Na tumeona kwa muda mrefu sana, this is not the first time ya kwamba IBC inakuwa projected over such issues. So and if we focus even on, let's say, kuwatoa hawa commissioners, tutakuwa tunaweka precedence mbaya, and tunafaa to tread carefully, because tunaweza kukuta mahali tukose hata wa commissioners, because mtu atakuwa akiingia pale ako na hofu, anajiambia na basi mimi nikiingia pale nitakuwa natimiza azima ya nani anataka hii na anataka hii. Kwa hivyo mtu akiingia pale akona some thought kwa mind yake inamwambia kwamba nikiingia hapa nafaa nifanye kulingana na vile wewe unataka, kulingana na venye yule anataka. Na hivyo ndivyo tupaswi kwenda. Inafaa tuende kikatiba na vile ofisi inatakiwa integrity according to chapter 6 of the constitution. That is how we are supposed to work. That is how we are supposed to follow. Yeah. Asante.
Bwana Nicholas, tuangalie hili swala la tume huru ya uchaguzi na mipaka. Tumekuwa na tume ambazo zilibuniwa awali. Tulikuwa na ECK, IEC na vile vile sasa tuko na IEBC. Unadhani kwamba itafikia wakati kwamba hii tume watasema kwamba ivunjiliwe mbali ama unaonaje?
I don't think there'll come a time where there will be a public pressure about cracking down the IEBC.
Ndio.
Why I say so is let's look at we have to look so much from where we are coming from.
Ndio.
Where we are now and projecting probably where we need to be. We came from the Kriegler report came from 2007 post-election violence.
Ndio.
And therefore the IEBC under the new constitutional dispensation is premised under the challenges that the Electoral Commission of Kenya in 2007 made. And at the end of the day, part of the very beautiful thing about the report was the inclusion of technology in transmission or in the IEBC systems, which actually happened. And if you look at the Raila case 2017, the court actually looked more at the verifiable, at the results verifiable. And at the end of the day, when the verifiability of the results missed the test, the election were nullified. And so at the end of the day, IEBC and the court at that particular, the court won the public trust, and the IEBC at the end of the day lost the public trust. But now come forward to 2022, we have an election that every polling station results is found in a public portal. So we have moved from an IEBC that hit results were nullified in 2017 to an IEBC that everyone can access the results. So when you analyze that particular development from 2007 to 2022, it's a progress that is actually we are making to the positive direction. However, therefore, we have a problem with the integrity of the number of Kenyans who are working within the commission, and that is where the problem is. It doesn't matter how many commissions you form. If the integrity of the people working in the commissions is not upright, we are likely to abandon commissions and form others, which is not the results. So my analysis is, at the end of the day, in the case of 2000 and 2022 elections, where everything else was good, but now the problem is we had 4 commissioners who had dissenting opinion about the results, and then it means we need to come back to the personalities we entrust them with the public institutions. You realize that at the moment we need to be having Chebukati and the 2 are retiring. And then at the end of the day, we have the contract of Cherera 4, which is still actually active until 2027, September. What does it mean? It means that if the procedure by Parliament is not going to meet the threshold, it means Cherera and the 4 are going to be supervising the 2007 election. What does that tell you about public trust? It tells you that we will be having one of the most fragile commission. And therefore, to be able to ensure that our constitutional bodies meet the public trust, we need to ensure that people we entrust into those particular offices have the public trust themselves.
Not political interest.
Not political interest. And from this particular thing, I think the Cherera 4 has already missed that recommendation. And so to have an IEBC that is able to do a next election well, it means they have to be removed from office, and other Kenyans who are capable of running that fragile body need to come on board.
Asante. Njuguna, wewe ni mtaalamu wa masuala ya uongozi, vile vile mchanganuzi wa kisiasa. Katika siasa kuna ile tunaita perception, mtazamo, na vile vile kuna political strategies. Unapata kwamba haya yote yanapangwa kwa kulinganisha, lazima kukuwe na mtazamo kwa wale wa Kenya, na vile vile kuna masuala ya mikakati, si mikakati ya sasa, ya siku zijazo. Utazungumziaje swala hili la siasa na uhuru wa tume? Upo wa Kenya hata hawajali, wengine utasikia kwamba wanasema kile kitatokea kitokee, bora haki itendeke.
Kwanza kabisa lazima tujue ya kwamba hii tume ya IEBC ndio iweze kuundwa, ni kama pia tunafuata procedure ambayo pia ni political.
Ndio.
Kwa sababu na pia ni lazima tujue hata mandate yake pia the client ama clients wa IEBC
ni wanasiasa.
Pia ni wanasiasa.
Ndio.
Na kwa hivyo hakuna vile tutaweza kutenganisha siasa na IEBC. Lakini ile kitu ya maana tunafaa tuelewe ni kwamba wakati mtu ana apply ama anatafuta hiyo kazi ya IEBC kama commissioner, mtu anafanya hiyo kwa hiari yake. Lakini kuna zile standards ambazo katiba ama sheria ambayo tumejiwekea sisi wenyewe kama Wakenya inatuambia ya kwamba lazima upitishe hii kiwango ili ukue wewe unaweza kuwa commissioner wa IEBC. Na kwa hivyo yule mtu ambaye ana apply na anaenda mpaka anapitia kwa vetting, anaenda through interviews mpaka aweze kuwa amehitimu kama commissioner. Kwa akili zake lazima akuwe akijua ya kwamba clients ambao wanaenda kudeal nao ni wanasiasa. Na kama vile wakili alikuwa amesema hapo awali ya kwamba tunaweza pata ya kwamba kuna Wakenya, tutafika mahali Wakenya waanze kuogopa kutafuta hiyo kazi.
Ndio.
Kwanza kabisa lazima kwanza tujue unapotafuta hiyo kazi ili uweze kuapply lazima ufanye soul searching yako mwenyewe. Ujue kama uko ready kufuatilia ile katiba ambayo tuko nayo, kwa sababu ukikosa kutimiza ile tunaita chapter 6 of the constitution,
uadilifu,
hiyo ni kumaanisha ya kwamba wewe utaweza kufanya hiyo kazi vilivyo. Kwa hivyo kwa mtazamo wangu naona ya kwamba IEBC ama commissioners ambao tuko nao walijihusisha sana kwa siasa, especially hawa wanne, kwa sababu kama vile mwenzangu amesema hapo awali, karibu kila every stakeholder, majority of them including the observers, international and local, walikuwa wamekubaliana na ya kwamba IEBC this time round imefanya clean job. Na ukiangalia vile pia judgment ilitokea kwa Supreme Court, utaona ya kwamba if that is anything to go by, ni kumaanisha ya kwamba hawa wanne walienda kinyume na matakwa ya Wakenya, kwa sababu ile njia ambayo walitumia haikuwa halali. Walikuwa pia wao wako involved katika tallying na pia ku-announce results from different regions. Alafu baadaye wakakataa zile results ambazo ni zao wenyewe. Kwa hivyo mimi kwa mtazamo wangu naona ni vizuri wale ambao tutaweza kupata kama commissioners, kama hawa wataondolewa, na pia wale ambao replace wale ambao wanaenda for retirement. Ni vizuri sisi kama Wakenya tuhakikishe ya kwamba tumewachunguza vizuri. Ili tuhakikishe wao ni watu ambao ni waadilifu, wao ni watu ambao wamekomaa, na watu ambao hawana hiyo tamaa ya kurusharushwa na hata viongozi ambao wako.
Asante, shikilia hapo. Naelekezwa kwamba hivi sasa, mtazamaji, tuvuke hadi kaunti ya Mombasa ambapo mwanahabari wetu Paul Munio yuko tayari. Paul Munio, iwapo unanipata na kupokeza usukani, hebu tupe hisia za wakazi kutoka kaunti ama jiji la Mombasa. Kwako Munio.
Naam, mtazamaji, shukran sana kwa kuweza kuungana nasi. Tupo katika chumba cha habari hapa jijini Mombasa, na vile vile tunazungumzia mada ya siku kuhusiana na makamishna wanne wa IEBC ambayo maombi matatu kunradhi ambayo yameweza kuwasilishwa ili kuweza kuwatimua. Maombi hayo yakiwa yamewasilishwa na Geoffrey Langat, vile vile Steve Geri na Dennis Dhumbi akiwa na Republic Liberty Party. Kwa hivyo ningependa niweza kukusanya baadhi ya wakazi na vile vile watu ambao wataweza kunipatia maoni kuhusiana na mjadala na kuhusiana kile ambacho kitakuwa kikitukia siku ya leo katika makao ya bunge, pale ambapo kutakuwa na kamati ya kuweza kusikiza maombi haya na vile vile kuweza kuamua. Kwa hivyo nitaweza kuungana na Oyo, vile vile Kevin na Charles ambaye watatusaidia ili kuweza kuchanganua baadhi ya masuala kama haya. Kwa hivyo namkaribisha wa kwanza ambaye ni Kelvin aweze kutueleza. Kelvin, ningependa uweze kutueleza, je, unaunga mkono kutimuliwa kwa makamishna hawa wanne?
Naam, naunga mkono jambo hilo. Kwanza naitwa Kevin, mimi ni mwanafunzi wa sheria katika chuo kikuu cha Nairobi na pia kiongozi wa wanafunzi. Naunga mkono jambo la kutimuliwa kwa makamishna hao kwa sababu kama mwanafunzi wa sheria kuna kitu inaitwa protocol. Sheria unastahili kufuata mkondo wa sheria ili ufanye jambo lako ama ili uweze kutekeleza jambo lolote hilo. Kwa hivyo ukiangalia makamishna hao wanne we were shocked to find out that waliamua kufanya presa yao wakiwa wanne kudenounce jambo ambalo walikuwa miongoni mwao, something that they had taken part of from the very beginning. Kwa hivyo jambo ambalo mahakama iliweza kuita kama bedroom rapture ilikuwa, wajua, niliangalia ikiwa in the scenario that sheria ya sai haikuwa inaangalia the Supreme Court kama avenue of seeking redress in the situation that we have an electoral malpractice, where would have our country been? Had we not had the Constitution of Kenya, which talks about Supreme Court and right of appeal, hawa makomishina wanne wangeleta vurugu nyingi sana katika nchi yetu ya Kenya. Kwa hivyo kwa sababu hawakufuata miondoko ya sheria, hawakufuata protocols za sheria, I do agree that wanastahili kutimuliwa. Ili wajua hata katika ndoa iliitwa bedroom rapture, katika ndoa kuna vile bibi na bwana wanaweza pigana na baada ya hapo kuna wenye wanaweza patana na pia masuala mengine hawezi rudiwa. Kwa hivyo what they are done cannot be repaired. Best thing to do, they step down ama watimuliwe haraka iwe.
Kweli kabisa, hayo ni maoni yake Kevin, na ningependa kugeuka huo upande mwingine kwake Oyo ambaye pia ni mchanganuzi wa masuala ya siasa, aweze kutueleza je, ni hatua zipi ama ni makosa yapi ambayo hawa makamishna wanafaa kuwekewa juu, na vile vile ni masuala kama yapi wanafaa kuulizwa na kamati hii.
Asante sana rafiki yangu, mimi naitwa Osumba Hesbonoyo. I think I must applaud the TV47 for giving me this chance. This is now the second time I've been here nikichanganua mambo ya siasa. Na kusema kweli mimi nataka kusema we must let the people of Kenya forgo matters election in this country. And elections underwent a legal process and the verdict was given, and we must forgive everybody what happened. Mimi nataka kusema ya kwamba the dissenting opinion of the 4 commissioners is hiyo ndio inaonyesha kwamba hapo kuna transparency na kuna maturity in that commission. Even the verdict that was delivered by the Supreme Court, I want to agree kwamba wote hawakuwa wameagree kwamba elections was fair. But because kulikuwa na majority ambao wameamua kwamba this was that is all. So even in the IBC commissioners, the dissenting opinion must be accepted, and we must not take any legal measures against them. They have a right to dissent, they have a right to agree on what is right and what is bad. So we must let the people of Kenya forget about what happened, and we forge ahead as a country.
Kweli kabisa. Naam, shukran. Kutokana na kile ambacho ameweza kuzungumzia ni kwamba kuna swala ibuka ambalo linajitokeza hapo. Je, tume ya uchaguzi na mipaka ya IBC iko huru? Na ningependa nielekeze swali hilo kwake Charles aweze kutueleza kulingana na maoni yako. Tume ya IBC ni huru?
Mwanzo kabisa, kwa majina naitwa Charles Musyoka Mutisia. Mimi ni mmoja viongozi Mombasa na rais wa Kenya Coast National Polytechnic. Kusema kweli, tukiangalia kuanzia 2017 Wakenya wamemjua Chebukati ni nani. Na sasa hata tutasema kwamba siasa ziliisha, tukakubali, lakini kusema ukweli hakukuwa na uhuru kabisa katika uchaguzi uliopita. Wajua tukizungumza hivyo tutambua bado hatujapona, lakini kusema ukweli hakukuwa na uhuru, hatukuona uhuru, na tunamjua Chebukati. Na hili swala la kwamba ama commissioner wanne watolewe ama wafutwe kazi ni swala ambalo tukiangalia it's all about revenge. Na that is what is happening kwa serikali ya Asla Nation. Tuangalie kutoka kwa Kinoti, it's all about revenge. Na tukiangalia makomishona wanne ni wengi kuliko Chebukati. Na hata tumeona juzi familia Chebukati ikitaka kupatiwa kazi. Wajua ukweli tuseme. So kivyangu there is this blackmailing thing in the parliament. Wanatuambia kwamba ni wengi, kwa kitu chochote wanaweza pitisha. Kama hii kitu tu imepelekwa pale kwa bunge, manake wale watu ni wengi kwa bunge, wanadhani kwamba watatishia. Wakati siasa ziliisha, let us now unite the nation. Tuachane na mambo ya IBC kura zilipigwa na tukasahau. Sasa ni kila mtu anashughulika na maisha yake. Kwa hivyo tunapopeleka hizi vitu za kina commissioners pale bunge, ni kitu ambacho kinarudisha siasa ndani, na hatutaki siasa. Tuendelee na maisha, na niambie government, let us work on uniting the nation. Watu wa Azimio ni wa Kenya, waingie katika Kenya. Iwe kwamba ulikuwa una defend Azimio, sahi rais ni William Samoei Ruto, tuunganishe Kenya, tuachane na mambo ya kuleta siasa kwenye parliament ati kwa sababu wao ni wengi. Asante sana.
Kweli kabisa, na bila shaka kumbuka kwamba mtazamaji wa runinga ya TV47 huwa tunachukua baadhi ya maoni haya ili kuweza kuchanganua kile ambacho wananchi wanaweza kufikiria, na vile vile kwa undani tu tunaweza kuyaweka katika ama kuyaweka kinagaubaga ili tuweze kuelewa ni miongozo ipi tunafaa kuchukua kama jamii ya taifa, na vile vile pia kuchangia katika maoni ya wale ambao watakuwa wakiamua katika maombi hayo ambayo yaliweza kuwasilishwa katika bunge hiyo ya kitaifa. Na bila shaka kutoka huo upande wa Mombasa, naregesha usukani kwako Joash Onsare uweze kuendeleza. Jina langu ni Paul Monio.
Shukran sana Paul Munio kwa kutuletea mahojiano hayo mubashara kutoka jiji la Mombasa. Na mtazamaji, tunazidisha gumzo hili hivi sasa. Niwape nafasi ya mwisho, dakika sekunde 30. Labda nianze na wewe Nicholas. Kauli yako ya mwisho kuhusiana na swala hili, sekunde 30.
Nitasema kwamba the very most important thing is the constitutionalism itself. As a nation, we are not going to move anywhere without strict adherence to the rule of law. And therefore, whichever, whether the likes of Cherera are going to be sent home, and of course a new IBC will be established in the wake of 2027 elections. What I would just say is that every person that is actually going to get that particular opportunity must ensure that their actions are anchored within the rule of law and they're in tandem with Article 10 of the Constitution. That way, we will be able to have a country where we believe in democratic, in the IBC, which is actually mandated with midwifing our democracy.
Asante sana. Diana Wamamu, kauli yako ya mwisho, sekunde 30.
Okay, I would like to say that we project this, as we are acting on this matter, we should project it to the future. This is not just something of today and we get done. So in any further actions, we are supposed to ensure that actually the rule of law is maintained, the democracy, because democracy is us and we are the people. And when democracy is curtailed, then we are not going anywhere as a country. And therefore, those are key things that should be observed in any movement so far.
Asante sana. Njuguna Mwangi, masuala ya siasa na uongozi, kauli yako ya mwisho.
Kwanza, going forward, I really wish that this time round we make sure we get it right. If in any case we do away with these 4 commissioners and also the 3 who are retiring, let us make sure that their replacement are going to be Kenyans who are competent enough to make sure that our country get forward, especially we get the election process very clear and very good, so that at least our country can move from that backwardness of always doubting our institutions. Yeah. I also wish to ask the commission that is we are expecting to have, that we need to rush very fast, because there are a lot of issues that IBC need to deal with, especially the issue of delimitation of boundaries and in constituencies and wards, that's one of the mandate of IBC. And I think it is very, very important, because we have been having a lot of challenges, especially in Mount Kenya, the issue of not getting the resources that we are supposed to get, just because we do not have the fairness in terms of boundaries of the constituencies. So I believe that this is the best time to have IBC that will look into that and make sure that they are as independent as the constitution suggests.
Shukran sana Njuguna Mwangi, mtaalamu wa uongozi na vile mchanganuzi wa masuala ya kisiasa. Wamamu karibu sana, asante sana kwa kuwafika hapa kuchanganua masuala ya sheria, na vile vile shukrani sana Arole Nicholas kwa kuweza kufika pia kuchanganua siasa hizi na vile vile masuala ya tume ya